So happy Wednesday, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me know in comments. How's it going as I try to maneuver my screen and try and get comments up at the same time. So let me know where you are watching from and what you are drinking. I am drinking some water and I am live on YouTube and our new channel. So not our new channel. I've had this channel for some time now, but this is where I'm going to be going live going forward because I feel like I can reach our community better on YouTube. So let me know where you guys are watching from and what you're drinking. Nice to see you, Gina. It's been a while. Hopefully you are doing well. Carla, nice to have you. I feel like you and I have been connected at the hip and we are like, we are twin sisters the last couple of days. It's good to see you online. Nice to have you guys on. I actually am really excited about going live on YouTube and like doing this regularly on YouTube. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to divert just a little bit and give you a little bit of my backstory on YouTube. Back in 2018, was in a coaching program and she was an amazing coach. She really got me out of my shell with this whole idea of YouTube and just showing up and being visible online, because I was of the opinion that I did not want to be the face of my business. How many of you guys feel like that? How many of you guys feel like being the face of your business is like the last thing that you signed up to do? Like I wanted to not be doing this. This is not how I saw myself running a business. This is not how I saw myself showing up in said business or any of it. So she really, she did a challenge. I'll never forget this because I was on a cruise in 2018 and I don't even think I'm in focus properly. So I'm gonna have to get this whole studio set up properly. So the more I do this, the better I'll get. I used to have, before we moved to Georgia, I had a studio set up and I had it all everywhere. And since we moved here, I have not gotten my act together. Anyway, so I'm on a cruise 2018 and I think it was in August. I'll never forget it because she every year did Vlogmas, and it was every day in the month of August, you come live or you do a video and you drop it, and that's Vlogmas. And I was on this cruise. It's in the middle of August. And I said, I'm doing this. I'm going to go live. I'm going to do a video every day. Cause like 2 years, I was like struggling with this showing up online. And she said, you needed to go do it. So I didn't do it in August. I did it in September, and I called it, I don't remember what I called it, something. If you look at my YouTube channel and you look like way back then, you'll see these videos because I haven't taken them down. So every day for pretty much 25 days, I think I skipped a day, I came live. And so I'm very excited about this YouTube channel because I am going to be coming to you guys on this channel. We're committed to growing this channel. We're about 30,000 subscribers. My goal is to get to 10,000. And show up in a very powerful way on our Online Travel Boss TV. And so let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. This is my favorite time of year because it's the end of the year, wrapping up the end of the year. This is where we do a lot of planning. This is where I'm doing a lot of self-reflection. We're looking forward into the upcoming year. I'm looking at how I've spent my time, how I'm going to spend my time. I start to preserve my time because it's really a race for me because we take off the last 2 weeks of the year. And so I'm looking at, what can I do better in the remaining time that I've got to still get what I want accomplished and then get the beginning of the year set up really well. So August and September are powerful months for me. And so time management is always something that comes up with me. And I happen to listen to this motivational speaker that I listen to. He's a pastor and he's a motivational speaker. So if you're looking for good YouTube TV, his name is Myron Golden, and I'm just in love with this guy. He's he comes out of the Russell Brunson camp, and For those of you know that I think Russell Brunson is my boo in my head and totally love him. And I was listening to one of his sermons because he is a preacher, and he said that, and I'm going to give you the same thing is, and I want you guys to let me know in comments how you feel about this. Like, for most of my adult life, I have been trying to preserve money. Like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, have you been trying to preserve money, make as much money as you can? Maybe you started your travel business because you wanted to, like, you're like tired of your boss, you wanted to be in control of your money, and you wanted to be the one that pulled the punches, right? You wanted to be the one that called the shots, you wanted to be a shot caller, you wanted to be the person that is the one to be the one that is in control of the money and all of that. And for so many years of my life, I did not control my time. I never, I mean, I would say probably the last 3 to 4 years, I have been a master and a steward of my time. But for most of my life, I have not been a steward of my time. I am a project manager by trade. This is what I know. So I know how to manage time. I know how to manage other people's time. I know how to manage projects. I know how to get things done. But time was not something I was trying to really manage in my business or in my life. I've done training on time management skills. Like, I know what the, what the textbook says. I know what I've done in the past to do it. So I thought today would be a great topic. When I was thinking about planning about what I was going to talk about in the month of October, and I was like, we're going to talk about planning activities, preparation for 2024, all of that. And I would be remiss not to talk about time management strategies. But the powerful message that I got out of one of his things, I don't even remember which one it was, we are managers of money, but not managers of our time. And I was like, oh my God, like that's me. Like, I have not managed my time. I managed my projects. I manage what, I try to be conscientious of my time, but I don't manage my time to the level that I manage my money. How many of you guys feel like that? Do you manage your time the same way that you manage your money? One of the things that he said that really, really stuck out to me is that we are like we balance our checkbook. We balance, we balance it every year. We do our taxes. We do an accounting of the money. We do accounting of how we've spent the money, ins and outs, right? We're looking to see how things are going, but we're not looking at the most valuable resource that we have in our life, the most precious commodity that we have in our life, which is time. And when he said that, I was like, that I don't know why it hit me. I guess because I'm 50 and I feel like I am, I'm like older now, and I'm like, how the hell did I turn 50 already? Like, how am I already 50 this year, right? And I thought to myself, that is me. Like, I don't account for my time like I account for my money. I try and make sure that I'm working on all the right things, but I don't count for it, and I can't get that thing back. I can't get time back. I can't bottle it up. I can't I can't preserve it. It's spent and it's gone. Like, I know you guys have heard all those sayings like, right, time is money and all that. And when he broke it down, it's like, time is not money. No, you can replace money, right? I know when you don't have money, it feels really bad, but you can replace money. We can go and we can sell something, we can work, we can get money. Money is a replaceable commodity. Time is not. So I thought, you know what? I am a big operations person. I'm a business process person. You know that is what my focus is. That is what my love is. Helping you guys operate businesses that are meaningful to you and also meaningful to your clients is what I live for. So today we're going to talk about time. We're going to talk about things that you can be focused on or doing. And I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of laundry list of stuff for you to add to the list of already laundry list of stuff that you need. But I want to give you just some valuable strategies that have worked for me that I'm going to continue to practice this year and going into next year. And I hope that they work for you. So let me know in comments if you guys are game, because you know what, if you're not, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to still proceed because it's that important to me. Time, I wrote it down. It's the number one thing in my life that is irreplaceable. right? My family is irreplaceable, life is irreplaceable, but I cannot get time back. So what I want to do is I want to stop focusing on those things that um, I can replace. I can replace money. I can replace, um, you know, relationships that are not serving me well, tasks that I can redo, products that aren't doing well for me. There's all sorts of things in my life, right? I can redo a vision. I mean, there's all these things in my life that I can do. But the first thing that I had to like look at when I was preparing for this talk today, I was like, okay, so really what's at the heart of the reason why I've been so afraid to really focus on the thing that is money. Like, why have I been so focused on money and not on time or my wasting of time? And so here are the things that I came up with. I came up with three things that are why I've been so focused on saving money and wasting time in the pursuit of saving money that I wish that I could do over, but regret is useless, right? But that I'm going to comment to you, right? The biggest thing that I've been afraid of, because it's all really centered around afraid or fear, is I was afraid I was going to lose money, right? So I'm focused on how I'm going to make more money in my travel business, in my coaching business, and in my career, and all of those things because I was afraid to lose it. So I'm doing all these things to preserve it so I don't lose it. The other thing I was afraid of was failure. I was afraid that if I didn't, you know, get as much of this thing, right? Sales, money, whatever that is, right? That I would be perceived as a failure, right? How many of you guys feel like you may be perceived as a failure, right? Maybe you don't talk about your business because you don't want people to think, hey, I've already talked about other businesses and I failed at that. And I don't want them to think that I'm also going to fail at this thing as well, right? So for me, failure has always been a big driver for me. I don't want to be perceived as a failure. The other thing is, believe it or not, I was afraid of what other people would say. So I focused on what I thought to be really important in my business because I didn't want people to say, oh, she wasn't able to accomplish this or she wasn't able to do this, right? So I had this fear around what other people were saying or thinking about me. I had this shift about 2 years ago. I herniated my disc when we first moved here, and I pretty much had to stop our business. I had to stop coaching, I had to stop training, I had to focus on my health. That was like it. And I felt it took me so long, like, and that was 2 years ago. It's taking me about 2 years to get back to the same level of production that I was at before my back situation. And I found myself just in the last 6 weeks spinning on doing things that I know that are comfortable to me, know that are important to me because I wanted to show up in a powerful way. And again, I go back, it was to those three things that were driving me, and I effectively was wasting time. So I said, stop Sunday. Like I had this conversation with myself. I said, stop. And I said, what do I teach? What do I teach our students? What do I teach in my training? What are the three things that are the most important thing in my business? And I went, ARC, Sunday, it's attract, relate, and convert, right? So you're going to hear me talk a lot about that because I'm going to go back to the principles of what I built this business on, what I've taught you guys for years, what I know to be the truth. So when I think about 2024, finishing out 2023, when I think about your time, my time, you making sure that you're working on those activities, I want you to relate it to those three things from now on, right? How well are you attracting people to your business? How well are you relating to the people that you are attracting in your business? And three, how well are you converting those people into sales, right? Because ultimately, if you're attracting and you're relating, but you're not selling, you just got a really great way to get friends. And so I just want to make sure that I think I am live because it says 18. So I want to make sure that I am actually going. Let me know in comments because I am doing something different. Like I know I usually never am on my phone. Yes, I do see you guys. So good. All right. So Those are the goals. At the end of the day, those are the three goals. Are you attracting? Are you relating? Are you converting? Those are the three things. If you're not doing something that relates to those three things, you got to ask yourself, what are you doing? If you're fiddling with your website and it doesn't attract, relate, or convert, you're wasting time. If you are working on social media posts and they don't engage, right, which is a relationship activity, they're not attracting people and they're not converting people, you're wasting your time, right? So any activity that you're doing from today on and it's not related to those three things, you got to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Is it because it makes you feel good? Is there some fear in there? Is it because you don't know any better? What is the reason that you're doing activities that don't relate to those three things? Because if you aren't making the money and if you're not spending your time in the way that you want, everything else is a waste of time and a waste of money. Let me just say that again. If what you're doing is not attracting your ideal client, not relating to your clients in a way that allows them to get to know you better and is not a conversion activity, either a non-money conversion activity or a money conversion activity, ask yourself why. Should you be working on it? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that makes us feel good about doing business, but is it good for business? Let me say that again. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we do that feels good, but is not good for business. And I'm gonna raise my hand because I have done it. I have done it recently in the past. And I always have to make sure I'm checking myself and not making sure that because I like to be busy. I am like a squared to the 10th power A type personality. I like to do stuff to check off the check boxes. Like I like to do stuff. I like to create lists. I like to create activities. I like to create deliverables so that I can feel accomplished about getting it done. It's sick, I know, but it's something that I know that that is a character. I don't know if it's a good character trait, but I like to do stuff. I like to create stuff. I like to be in action around doing. But just because you like it doesn't mean that something that you can be doing, that you should be doing, particularly if you're not hitting the things that you want, if you're not hitting the goals that you want, if you're not attracting the maximum number of people that you want, if you've got a goal to attract 100 people to your business, your YouTube channel, your list, your Facebook group, whatever, and you're not doing it and you're working on something else, ask yourself why. If you aren't making connections with the people that are already on your list, you got to ask yourself why. If you aren't hitting the sales that you want, you got to ask yourself why. And if you're doing anything that isn't directly related to that in this stage in the journey of your business, you've got to ask yourself, should you be doing? And I'm going to tell you the answer is probably no. So now let's go about the time saving activities and strategies associated with what you could and should be doing relative to help you focus on getting more time in your life. I've spent, I would say, the last 6 months like completely off track. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I have derailed myself time wise. Uh, uh, like, there's a routine I used to follow in terms of if you guys are looking for something that's really powerful, it's called I think it's a 5 a.m. I'll have to look this book up. It's in my book, but I'm a huge reader of books. I am a huge knowledge gatherer. So I read a lot, haven't been reading the last 6 months. And so there's this book I think it's called the 5 a.m. morning routine. And in this book, it talks about the savers. It's a routine. And I got myself out of this routine. And what the routine does, it allowed me to create some sort of balance in my thoughts and my activities. And I found myself really off track this last 6 months. And so I've gotten back on track. And as a result of that, like I feel like I'm sort of a little bit off topic, but like I think I just needed to share some stuff with you guys tonight. And the saviors, it's really around silence, activity, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. That's what the saviors are. So you do these things every day. And I had found myself really not focused on that. And I stopped doing those things because I was like, no, it's going to save me time if I just get up and I just start working. Right. And what happens in that, I get lost in translation, right? I'm not focused on the art activities, right? I'm not focused on attracting. I'm not focused on relationships. I'm not focused on conversion like I need to. And then effectively, I look up and 6 months is gone and I'm totally not on track for my goals. Do you guys ever feel like that? Do you feel like you're like, oh, I'm going to just do this one thing. I know it's not part of what I said I was going to do, and you look up and days have gone by, hours have gone by, weeks have gone by, months have gone by, and you're like, what happened? It's October. I cannot believe it's October. And certainly we've accomplished a lot, but not near what I had hoped that we would. And it's because in the pursuit of saving time, losing my routine, I've wasted time, not focused on the things that I need to be. So the goal is the first strategy, right? Make sure you're focused on the right goals in your travel business, right? I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care what anybody is telling you out there in the internet streets. If they're telling you you got to be focused on social media, posting, you got to be focused on building a website, you got to be focused on all this stuff, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. I'm just here to tell you tonight is a raw night. I haven't been raw in a really long time. It's bullshit, right? If you don't have a way to attract your ideal client, at the end of the day, you could be posting until you're blue in the face. You're not going to get clients with just posting. If you don't know who your client is, you're not going to get people to like you. You're not going to get people to relate to if you don't know who your client is, right? So if you're aimlessly posting and you don't have a person in mind who you want to relate to, you're wasting time, right? So I want you guys to get back to the basics, because that's what I'm going to do. For the rest of this year, I'm going back to the basics, right? The basics are, who am I here to service? I'm here to service travel advisors who want to build a brand. End story. If you want to build a brand, you want to build a business around that brand, I'm the person you should be listening to, because that is what I do and that's what I do best, right? I want to attract those people. I want to talk to those people. I want to have conversations with those people, and I want to help those people. Who do you want to help get out of town? I want you guys to really think about that. Any amount of time that you spend in the next 24, 48 hours, if you don't have the answer to that, I want you to focus on that, right? Because anything that you do, you can't do it well if you don't know who your people are. If you don't know who it is, and it's not everybody, I promise you, you guys are not McDonald's. You guys are not Expedia.com. You guys are not, who are these big suppliers, right? You are not Virgin Voyages. You are not these big dollar suppliers that have millions of dollars to spend on advertising. That's not your story. That's not my story. So that means you need to know who your people are. You need to know who is it that you help specifically, right? And it's not everyone. So you got to that is the best time that you can spend right now, is figuring out who it is. Now, if you know who that person is and you're super great at understanding who that person is that you get out of town, then I'm going to say, how do you attract them? That's going to be your next thing, right? And so right now, unless you've got a network of people that you are already plugged into, you've got to find an automated way to get in front of those people. I was in our software group Compass last week when I was hosting the boot camp, and I was like, you got to figure out a way to shake hands and kiss babies on autopilot. And if you don't know how to do that, that's the only thing you got to be focused on. Building a website is the last thing you need to be focused on. Social media, random social media posts about inspiration is the last thing you need to be building on. Unless, of course, those social media posts are targeted directly to your ideal client. Do not waste your time on social media posts right now. Focus on building a way to connect to your ideal client, right? On an automated fashion. I want to shake and kiss babies as many travel agents and advisors as I possibly can, because that's who I want to help. Who do you want to help? How do you get in front of them? If you like brides, How are you getting in front of brides, right? Type in the comments, who is your avatar? Like, who's the person you want to help get out of town? If you want to work with retired seniors, how are you getting in front of how are you getting in front of retired seniors? If you want to work with busy moms, how are you getting in front of busy moms every single day, right? What are you doing to get in front of busy moms every single day? Whoever your person is, how do you attract them every single day? That's the only thing you should be focused on. How do you attract to them? How do you relate to them? And how do you get your services and products in front of them? Everything else is a waste of time. Okay. It's a waste of your time and also your money, right? Because at the end of the day, if you can't do those three things right and consistently, you're going to always be struggling to get clients. If you cannot attract who you want on a regular basis, you're going to always be struggling to get clients. Now, I read a statistic the other day that said travel advisors on the whole are making 42% more money than they have last year. Do you know why that is? It's because we're coming out of the pandemic and everybody and their mother wants to travel. So you may be in this false sense of security. Business is great. Things are wonderful right now. What happens when that business dries up and you don't have an attraction system? What happens when everybody that you know has already booked travel and you don't have an attraction system? What's going to happen? You're going to be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have any money coming in. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? And you're spending your time right now working on a website that you're not even driving traffic to, right? I want you to focus on the most important things in your business right now: attract, relate, and convert. That's it. ARC. Put it to paper. So number one time saving strategy is automation. Automate any one of those three things. Automate the way you attract, automate the way you relate, automate the way you convert. So let me give you some examples on how you can automate, right? Attraction, build a funnel, build an attraction funnel, get a stranger offer, build a way to automatically collect email addresses or get phone numbers if you send them SMSs, right? Automatically get a way to get your stranger offer in front of people. Get it on a QWERTY card, QWERTY code, right? Stop handing out business cards. Have people scan it so that number automatically gets added to your list, that person's information. They scan it and it automatically gets into your system, right? It automatically starts a chat bot with them, a chat conversation that's collecting their information. Automation. 2023, 2024 is your new currency. Automate the way you attract, automate the way you relate, automate the way you convert. How do you automate the way you relate? Email sequences, right? Somebody gets on my list, there's a sequence of emails that emails and texts that automatically get out. I built it once and that is it. I don't think about it again. When somebody comes on any one of the lists that are out there in my world, they get a 10 email introduction of videos, content about me and what it is that I'm good, that I stand for, right? How I can help them. You do an amazing service. You specialize in this destination. You specialize in that destination. You help people uniquely. How do you tell your story to your ideal client? Is it just one email that says, hey, my name is fill in the blank and that's it? You got a story, tell it, right? Automate the way you tell your story, right? Start recording that story. Fine, you don't want to do lives, right? Maybe you don't want to do video, right? I just had a client. She's like, I don't want to do video. So she created this great, instead of doing a video on her thank you page, she did this great like Canva little gift thing that had her image and had a thank you and all that. That's still a powerful way to at least connect to somebody. She, invites them to a Facebook group where she knows she's going to show up. That's power, right? Automate the way you connect with people and start the conversation and frankly, keep the conversation going. You get on any one of my opt-in offers, there's some level of series going. You can't get in my world and me shut up. Like you just can't get in my world and me shut up. Like you get in my web and you're going to hear from me in some way or fashion, in some automated fashion that I've set up. Like I got so much email series, like I literally had to shut things down because it was out of control, right? Like I was sending like 3 and 4 emails at one day because we hadn't set that sequence up right a couple of months ago, right? I'd rather you be in that situation than not to talk to your people at all, right? So, strategy, you want to save time, sit down, think about how you want to do a relationship conversation with the new person that's on your list, build it once and get them in, right? So I called it. I said query bot, but that's not what I really meant. I really meant a QWERTY code, right? So it's really it's you've seen it, right? It's one of those little black and white boxes. Somebody gets their camera out, they scan it, and it automatically brings up a website, right? That's an automated way for you to bring up your stranger offer lead form, right? You could send them directly to a lead magnet. You can send them directly to download something, a web page, right? A QWERTY code. So that's what I meant by that. So it's a QWERTY. It's QWERTY. That is a better way to give somebody your offer, like a stranger offer or your contact information. And I don't even really believe in giving contact information out anymore because I feel like that gives the control to the person. And really what I want is I want them in my world, not waiting for them to contact me. So I want people on my list. I want people in my SMS list or my email list or in my Facebook group and now on my YouTube channel, right? Because where am I going to be? I'm going to be in your inbox or I'm going to be on this channel or I'm going to be in my Facebook group. Those are the places that I show up and I relate to. So that's where I want my people. That's where I want people, right? That there's no different for you as a travel advisor. Where do you want to show up for your community, for your tribe? Are you going to show up in a Facebook group? Or are you going to show up on? Are you going to show up on TikTok? Or are you going to show up on Instagram? Where are you going to show up? And that's where you want to get them. That's where you want to drive traffic. You don't show up on your website. Does that make sense? It feels good to create a website, right? Because it's inanimate, it's static, right? It's a checkbox you can do. But at the end of the day, unless you are driving traffic to your website, it doesn't get you anything right now. It's a long game. It's something you need in the future. But right now, if you're struggling with relating and getting clients and you don't have a way to consistently get new people interested in your products and services, you need a funnel, an attraction funnel to get people into your world, right? And a way to continue that conversation. So number one is automate. Number two, time saving strategy is ask yourself if it's something that you're doing, do you like doing it? Like literally, I only want to do those things that I like doing. And I'm going to tell you why. Life is too short to be doing a bunch of stuff you hate doing. So, for everything that I hate doing, there's somebody who loves to do it and does it 10 times better than I could do it myself. It took me a long time to get to this statement, but I'm at this statement, meaning I don't have an infinite amount of cash, obviously, to be able to pay for every single thing that I don't like doing. But by golly, if it has to do with attraction, relationship, and converting, and I don't like to do it, I'm going to figure out how I can outsource it. All right. I'm going to understand what it is because the worst thing you could do is outsource something that you don't understand. That means you can't manage it, explain it, and really understand if it gets done. So I do spend the time to acquire the knowledge so that I'm dangerous enough to be able to know if somebody's not doing something well for me that I've hired. But I ask myself, do I like doing it? I'm going to tell you what I don't like doing, right? To give you an example, I don't like setting up email series. I know how to do it. I know the requirements of doing it, but I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it. I like designing the series. I like designing the process and the steps and the activities that are going to happen. So I like designing sequences, but I don't like setting them up. I like designing processes. That is my zone of genius, but setting it up and all the components, I like managing the project, but I don't like doing the work. So I outsource that. I have an admin. She is amazing and she does it well. She catches all of my mistakes that I used to do. So I stopped doing that, right? Does it save me time? A significant amount of time, right? Because there is a sequence to everything that we do, right? So setting up a sequence inside of our tool, right? Doesn't take a lot of time, but every single thing that I do has a sequence, right? So I don't do it anymore, right? Because I dread doing it, so I don't do it. It saves me probably an hour's worth of time. You know why I know it's an hour? Because I've tracked my time. I know exactly how long it takes me to do a setup of a sequence. It takes her now that I've trained her to do it, right? It takes her, like, once I give her the stuff, now I can spend the time on what's important, which is writing the content, thinking about the message, thinking about the design of the flow so that she can then execute it, right? So number two, time saving strategy. You want to save time in your life, get back hours that you can't get back, do the things that you are really good at and figure out how you can outsource it. With AI, with all of the resource commodities or uh, companies that are out there, you know, one of these companies come to mind. I remember one time I had gotten behind on reconciling my books. And this was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and TaskRabbit. So I literally hired a TaskRabbit person to go through and input all my statements into QuickBooks. Like it took her, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks to do. It cost me like $200 to do that. But it would have taken me, because I'm an accountant, right? My background's in accounting. So I would have like painstakingly tried to reconcile it. She got it done in 2 weeks' time, cost me $200. Would have taken me 2 months to go through, reconcile everything. She got it in, I was able to reconcile it, and we're done, right? So $200 was worth it to me to get that done. How many things are you working on that take you hours to do that you don't want to just drop the $50, whatever the number is, right? Figure out, go get it estimated, figure it out. It's probably not as expensive as you think it is compared to your time. So the first thing I'm asking myself, it's something I got to do, is do I even like doing it? If the answer is no, I'm going to be like, okay, well, let me go figure out who can do it better than me. And I'm going to then go get an estimate for it, particularly if it's something that needs to get done relative to attracting, relating, and converting, right? Email series has got to get done, right? It's not directly related to money, but it's indirectly related to relationship building, right? Those sequences need to get done. I don't like doing them. I outsource it, right? So my job is to make sure that the content's ready so that it can get set up every single week, right? Number three, time saving strategy is the activity that I'm doing, is it tied to one of those things? If the answer is no, it immediately gets off the list, right? So when I'm looking at my weekly list of things to do, it's on a list. And if it's not directly tied to ARC, I'm not doing it. It gets off the list. Every day I look at my list. If it's not tied directly to ARC, it's off the list, right? And so again, I'm not talking personal stuff. I'm only talking business, right? You can create your own system for your personal time management. I'm specifically talking about your business. So if I've got something every morning when I get up, I'm looking at, okay, what's the goals for the week? What did I say I was going to do yesterday? Did I end the day getting those things done? My goal is to say, yes, I completed what I said I was going to do. What's today's set of goals, right? I'm looking at the list. Okay, I'd like to do this. I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that. All right. No, it's not related to attraction, not related to relate. It's not related to convert. I'm not doing it, right? Only those things. And I stopped allowing people to divert me. I'm going to say that again. I have stopped allowing people to divert me. There are a lot of people in your life who don't have the same goals as you, that don't want the same things as you. And that's fine. But if you want to achieve the fill in the blank that you want to achieve in your travel business, then you've got to be a steward of your own time. You have to have intentional focus on the things that are important and ignore the rest. Like literally, that is something that is coming out of my mouth probably 5 times a day. Is this something that is related to my goal? And if the answer is no, I am ignoring it. I am telling that person, that thing, I can't do it. No, it's my favorite word now. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I may sound like a broken record, right? I may sound like that to my children now. My husband, he goes, stop telling me no. And I'm like, it's not related to art. Like it's not related to art. So I'm not doing it. So what does that mean now I have? I have time to get the things that I said I was going to get done, right? Because I'm ignoring the things that don't relate, that don't serve me well, that aren't related to the things that I want to accomplish, the things that are necessary to move the needle. And I'm focused, hyper focused on only those things that are going to move the needle. Everything else, I have cut that out of the plan. Like everything else, every single thing else, I've cut out of the plan. And you know what that means? That means I get to this Friday end of my day after I get my shot, right? I haven't done that in over 6 months. I haven't ended my day early on a Friday because I've been focused on the wrong thing. Focused on the right things, right? Set boundaries. That's right, Sonia. Set boundaries for yourself and ignore the rest. Like, because at the end of the day, whoever, whatever wants your time, they probably don't have the same high level goals that you do, right? They probably don't want to achieve what you do. So they've got time to waste. You don't. You're on this call today because you want better for your travel business. You want better for your family. So make sure that you preserve the very thing that you cannot get back, and that's your time. So that means focus on mission critical things. Now, when you get to a point where you're making as much money, you've got as much time, maybe you're at the 4-hour work week, that's what you're doing. You're jetting off wherever you want, and you got time to surf the internet and look at funny TikTok videos, right? I don't have time for that, right? That's not serving me. Now, I do look inside of my Facebook group and see what comments are made, right? Why do I do that? Because that's a relationship building activity, right? Me replying to comments inside of our Facebook group is a relationship activity. Me responding to email to my clients, it's a relationship activity, right? Me writing blogs that talk about the problems that my clients care about, that's a relationship building activity, right? Those are the things that I'm focused on. Focused on art. What are you guys focused on this season? What are you focused on this season? Don't tell me you're focused on social media posts, building inspirational posts that are real good, feel good stuff, unless that that's going to drive more traffic to your site, drive more traffic to your offers. It's a waste of your time. All right. I'm not going to tell you to build out a bunch of social media that's going to do that. I'm not going to tell you to build out a bunch of content that's not going to help you move the needle. If you don't have a library of content that explains to your new client why you're the bomb.com, that's what you should be focused on when it comes to content. Building at least 10 pieces of solid foundational content that tells somebody why your services as a travel advisor is amazing, why you specifically help your niche better than anybody else. New city guides, right? You're Carla, I can't remember what city. What city are you? Is it Italy, right? Guides, that's right. Building guides around the destinations that you service. Why you know that destination better than anyone. Why you are uniquely positioned to sell that destination better than anybody else, because that's your jam, right? Italy, that's right. That's what I thought. So that's what I want you guys to focus on. Time is, you can't get it back. We can't get 2023 back, but we do have the rest of 2023 left, and we got 2024. So let us spend and focus our time and energy on those things that are really the most important to the business, right? Attract, relate, and convert. I built that ARC system back in I came up with that, I want to say in 2017, I came up with the whole ARC acronym. I used to talk about it like all day long. That is all I ever trained on. That's all I ever talked about. And I really have not talked nearly enough about it. So you're going to hear a lot about it from me over the next several months. That's what we're going to be talking about. This month is really about conversion, relationship, and attraction, really all three of those things. But today I just wanted to drop a little bit of notes about the value of your time. Don't waste it. And let's focus on those things that are super important. Listen, if you liked today's video, do not forget to do all those YouTube things that are really great. Like and subscribe. Hit the notify button so you know when we will be dropping actually more content over the next couple of weeks, in addition to our Wednesday. But for sure, I will be here next Wednesday talking all things launching and operating a profitable travel business. And I'm just going to leave it open just a little bit for any comments, questions, or thoughts around that. I miss living in Italy. I've not been to Italy. It is on my bucket list because I love Italian food. I love Italian food. One of my partners, she did it Italy. I think she was in Italy for 3 weeks. Um, 3 weeks this past summer, and I was super jelly. So when you put together that trip, Carla, I cannot wait to see what your itinerary is. I think you did a spectacular job on your guide, your Mexico guide. So I cannot wait to see what you come up with your Italy destination and all of that. So listen, you only get one life. You only get one opportunity to live that life. So live it well. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.